Student, this is your final term chapter 2, locked up on Robben Island. It's class 8, subject English, book Cambridge Express 8, and your teacher's name is Mr. Mylaira. Actually about Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary. Anti-apartheid means he was against the laws of discrimination on ground of race. He was a political leader and philanthropist. Philanthropist is a person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. He served as a president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the country's first black head of state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. He was born on 18 July 1918 in South Africa and died on 5 December 2013. Robben Island is the story of Nelson Mandela. He was the first black president of South Africa who worked for the rights of black people. He spent 27 years in prison for his cause. This text is actually taken from the biography of Nelson Mandela. In this, he tells us that what problems he faced when he was in prison. He says, "We were awakened at 5:30 each morning by the night warder. Night warder each morning awakened them at 5:30, who clanged a brass bell at the head of our corridor, who rang a brass bell at the head of the corridor. I have always been an early riser and this hour was not a burden to me." He says that this hour was not a burden to him because he was an early riser and that thing was not bothering him. Although we rose at 5:30, we were not let out of our cells until 6:45, by which time we were meant to have cleaned ourselves and roll up our mats and blankets. He tells us that they were rose at 5:30, but they were not allowed to come out from their cells till 6:45 because during that time they have to clean their cells and rolled up their mats and blankets. Once breakfast was delivered to us in our cells by prisoners who were kept in the general section. In this paragraph, actually, he tells us that in first few months how breakfast was delivered to them. Breakfast consisted of mealie, pap porridge. Mealie means sweet corn and pap means liquid. They were served with sweet corn liquid porridge, cereal made from maize or corn, which the general prisoners would slop in a bowl and then spin through the bars of our cells. The general prisoners made that cereal and they slop it in a bowl and in bowls and then spin through the bars to them. It was a clever trick and required a deft hand so as not to spill any of the porridge. They were so much skillful in this act that they didn't get spill any of the porridge. The authorities like to say that we received a balanced diet. It was indeed balanced between the unpalatable and the inedible. Actually, the authorities like to say that they were receiving a balanced diet, but it was between the unpalatable, it was having no taste, and inedible, it was not able to be eaten. Food was the source of many of our protests, but in those early days, the warders would say, you people are eating better in prison than you ever at home. Actually, they made many protests against this, but the warder always said to them that they were eating better food in prison rather than at their homes because they were poor people. In the midst of breakfast, the guards would yell, "Wall in, wall in." Wall in means fall in, and we would stand outside our cells for inspection. It means that they were yelling at them to come out from their cells for inspection. Each prisoner was required to have the 3 buttons of his khaki jacket properly buttoned. We were required to doff our hats. Doff means take off as a mark of respect. To take off hats as a mark of respect as the warder walked by. If our 4 buttons were undone, our hats unremoved, or our cells untidy, we were charged with a violation of the prison code and punished with either solitary confinement or the loss of meals. If they didn't follow the jail rules or the prison rules, and if the buttons were undone or hats were unremoved or their cells were not clean, then they were charged with violation of the prison code. And what was the punishment? That was solitary confinement. Solitary confinement means the prisoners were kept in isolation in a separate cell, or the loss of meals, or they didn't serve meal to them. During inspection, we would work in the courtyard hammering stones until noon. After inspection, they took them in the courtyard. Over there, they did the hammering of stones until noon. There were no breaks. Unless we worked quickly, the warders would yell at us to speed up. The warders were always yelling at them to speed up their work. At noon, the bell would clang for lunch. Again, the bell was rang for lunch, and another metal drum of food would be wheeled into the courtyard. A metal drum of food would be taken in the courtyard. Lunch consisted of boiled mealies, that is, coarse kernels of corn. What happened with them? Again, they were eating boiled mealies, and coarse means harsh and rough kernels of corn. Worked until 4, when the guards blew shrill whistles and we once again lined up to be counted and inspected. After lunch, they worked till 4, and then guards blew whistles and they have to again line up. After getting lined up, they were counted and inspected. We were then permitted half an hour to clean up. Then they were permitted to clean up themselves for half an hour. The next paragraph is actually about the washing facilities which were provided to them. The bathroom at the end of our corridor had 2 seawater showers, a saltwater tap, and 3 large galvanized metal buckets. Galvanized mean coated with zinc, which were used as bathtubs. As there were many prisoners in that jail, but they were not having washing facilities. They were having only 2 seawater showers, a salt water tap, and 3 galvanized metal buckets. There was no hot water. They had to stand or squat in these buckets. Squat means they have to bend their knees in those buckets. Soaping ourselves with the brackish water, they soap themselves with the salty water, rinsing off the dust from the day. In this way, they rinse off the dust from their bodies. To wash yourself with cold water when it is cold outside is not pleasant, but we made the best of it. We would sometimes sing while washing, which made the water seem less icy. Actually, they used a technique to overcome the situation. So they sang during while washing, which made the water seem less icy. In those days, this was one of the only times that we could converse. It means that was the only time, and that was the time of washing themselves, when they could converse, when they could talk with each other. 4:30, exactly at 4:30, there would be a loud knock on the wooden door at the end of corridor, which meant that supper had been delivered. At 4, they left their work and they come for to wash up themselves. After that, at 4:30, again there was a loud knock on the wooden door at the end of the corridor, which meant that supper had been delivered. We again received mealy pap porridge. It is repetitive food which was given to them, sometime with the odd carrot or piece of cabbage or beetroot thrown in, but one usually had to search for it. Even the one piece of cabbage or carrot or beetroot, they have to search it in that mealy pap porridge. If we did get a vegetable, we would usually have the same one for weeks on end, even until the carrots or cabbage were old and moldy, and we were thoroughly sick of them. If they found something like carrot, cabbage, or beetroot in their pap porridge, they have to eat the same vegetable for the whole week. Even that got old and moldy. Moldy means covered with fungal growth. Every other day we received a small piece of meat with our porridge. Every other day they were given a piece of meat also. The meat was usually mostly gristle. Gristles means hard, which was not able to eat. Typically, we received even less than the meager amount stipulated in the regulations. Actually, meager means less than quantity, and stipulated means demanded. Regulations mean rule. Actually, according to the demanding rules, the food which was given to them, it was less than the meager. This was because the kitchen was rife with smuggling. It was very common. Smuggling was very common in the kitchen. The cooks, all of whom were common law prisoners, kept the best food for themselves or their friends. What actually happened over there? The cooks were actually common law prisoners, and they kept the best part of food for themselves and their friends, and sometimes for warders to please them. That's why good food was not given to the prisoners. Often they would lay aside the tastiest morsels for the warders in exchange for favors or preferential treatment. Actually, they lay aside the tastiest part of the food for the warders, and in exchange they got favors and special treatments from them. At 8 p.m., the night warder would lock himself in the corridor with us, passing the key through a small hole in the door to another warder outside. At 8 p.m., the night warder came in the corridor. He locked the corridor from inside, and then he passed the key through a small hole to another warder outside. The warder would then walk up and down the corridor, ordering us to go to sleep. Then warder walked up and down and ordered them to go to sleep. Giving the orders light out was never necessary in Robben Island because a single mesh covered bulb in our cell burned day and night. There was no need of saying light out because at Robben Island they were having a single bulb in the corridor, and that was also mesh covered. Mesh covered means that was also covered with thread, and that cell burned day and night. Later, those studying for higher degrees were permitted to read until 10 or 11. But later, permission was given to those prisoners to read till 10 or 11 who wanted to get higher education. Along the corridor were quite good, and we would try to chat a bit to each other before going to sleep. The acoustics along the corridor means the acoustics means sound or the hearing of sound is very good in corridor. So they chat with each other before going to sleep. But if we could hear a whisper quite clearly, so could the warder. He would yell, "Stirred and die gang," means quiet in the passage. What happens actually when they whisper with each other, and they could hear their whispers easily, it means the warder also could hear their whispers. So he always yelled at them by saying "Still in die gang," means quiet in the passage. The warder would walk up and down a few times to make sure we were not reading or writing. After that, the warder would walk up and down in the corridor to make sure that they were not reading or writing or doing any activity. After a few months, we would sprinkle a handful of sand along the corridor so that we could hear the warder's footstep and have time to stop talking or hide any contraband. Contraband means goods that have been smuggled in. Actually, they have to exchange those goods which were smuggled in the prison. So they sprinkle a handful of sand along the corridor so that they could hear the warder's footstep before reaching to them. During that time, they stopped talking and hide their contrabands. Only when we were quiet did he take a seat in the small office at the end of the passage, where he dozed until morning. After making sure that there was a quiet in the corridor and they all had slept, he took a seat in the small office at the end of the passage, and there he slept till morning. So student, this is the chapter about Nelson Mandela's life. As I told you in the start that it is the text is a biography of Nelson Mandela. In this text, he tells us about his life in jail. Actually, he spent 27 years of his life in jail, and you can see that how many problems he faced over there. Here are the main points of the chapter. Main points. This is a story of Nelson Mandela's imprisonment. He was locked up on Robben Island. Prisoners were humiliated over there. They were rose at 5:30, but they were not allowed to come out till 6:45 because during that time they had to clean their cells, and they had to roll up mats and blankets. Strict rules were followed over there. Even they had to take off their hats when the warders walked by them. Sparse and unappetizing food was served to them. They were not allowed to talk with each other. Even water's treatment was unfair. They washed with brackish water. They were not having any washing facilities. They were not even allowed to talk with each other. So these are the main points, students, and I hope that you would have understood the chapter. If there will be any query about the chapter, you could ask me anytime.